Hi everybody, it's Practical Mommy, and I'm visiting with Pam Dyson, who is a licensed professional counselor. She specializes in play therapy for children ages 3 through 12, so that's why you see all of the toys around us. We are talking about how to diffuse an angry child. Ooh. So I'm sure that happens at 3 and at 12.
It does. Any child at any age is going to
38
explode. Exactly, even as adults. And you know, that's interesting that you mentioned that, because a lot of times when our children have an explosion, whether it be a temper tantrum full-blown on the floor, or they're just stomping their feet or raising their voice because they're angry, a lot of times we need to look at ourselves as parents and say, I wonder where they learned that from.
Oh, absolutely.
Is that something they see me do? Is that what I do? So start at that and look at that first. What am I modeling for my child? Because children do pick up on what their parents do. So if they see you yell, blame others, throw things when you're angry, chances are that's what they're going to do as well. Also, it's important when a child gets really angry to look at what triggered that whole situation. Is your child tired? Is he hungry? Is he bored? Maybe he's coming down with something and he's not feeling well. So maybe you can see a pattern. If your child gets angry every day at the end of the day after he gets home from school or daycare, and you're trying to cook dinner, maybe he could be hungry, he could just be exhausted. So maybe you need to give your child a little snack, maybe a little break time, a little rest time, decompressing, no video games with all that stimulation, which sometimes can really help diffuse some of that anger. Now, say you've tried all those things and your child is
in the moment.
In the moment, and it's escalating and it's not stopping, and it's a full-blown tantrum, and they're throwing themselves on the floor and they're kicking and they're screaming and all that. Well, can you ignore it? Because maybe what they're wanting is to get your attention. So if they're not hurting themselves or anybody or damaging anything around them, maybe you can let the tantrum go and ignore it. Because if you act like it's not a big deal, they're going to go, oh, this isn't working.
Focus on what you want.
It's not getting mom's attention, because maybe now it's not even no longer about what they were angry about.
They just want the attention. What I find is this escalation of frustration when they're not getting my attention.
Yes, and that will do that too. So you have to really pay attention as a mom. Are you giving your child your full attention? Sometimes they need that because you're multitasking. You're cooking dinner, you might be doing a little laundry, maybe you have an older child who needs help with their homework, and your 4-year-old is over here trying to get your attention and ramping it up, making it more and more drama. And so sometimes you might have to stop back. And sometimes I tell parents, give your child a 30-second burst of attention. Stop what you're doing. Look at your child and say, I think you're trying to get my attention. I have 30 seconds. You tell me what it is I need to know. And you nod your head as they're going
So now right there in that critical moment, are you reinforcing that behavior?
Not if it's 30 seconds.
Okay. Because that's my question when they're, it's escalating over here. You're like, well, I can't give you attention now. Because then that's going to be feeding that.
But if it's 30 seconds and you say, I'm sure glad you told me all that. Sounds like that was really important to you to tell me and you needed my attention. And the 30 seconds is up. And now I need you to go back over there and play with your blocks. And, and I'll have dinner ready in a few minutes and then we'll be able to have dinner. So sometimes just stopping in the moment, giving them a few seconds might be all that they really want.
Okay, so the first thing is to determine what triggers that a tantrum or the anger in the first place. And then one way to diffuse that is perhaps because if it's attention-based, to give them just a little bit to bring it down.
Or ignore it if you have to.
And ignore it.
And sometimes you have to pick your battles. Is this a major issue here that I really do need to address? Or is it something kind of minor and I can kind of let it slide?